The lunar pyramid stirs to the Leviathan's call. It manifests our deepest regrets. They wear familiar faces and speak with familiar voices.
Remember your last advisor, Zavala. You trust this one's judgment?
I can bind these nightmares to us. Grant us safe passage through the ship.
High magic. You would doom us all.
I know what I'm asking you to confront.
Do you?
The rules have bent around us. We must also bend.
Madness. Your witchcraft plays right into my father's hands. Find someone else for your ritual.
Your regrets will follow you, Empress. Let me offer protection.
My armor is protection enough. I will lead the charge. You need only follow.
No matter what happens, do not break the circle. This will anchor our offerings. Now, tithe your weights to the crown.
My heart, from a time long past.
My memory, from one life to the next.
Song of Sothona, your words are mine to command. Borlog, Ayat.
Eris!
Chords plucked in offered throats find chorus. Echoes once dissonant, exhumed, find harmony in binding flesh. It burdens. It burdens. It burdens until the choir relents, accepting. Ayat. We are bound. It is done. We are inexorably bound to the power of this Hive artifact, and to one another. The Crown of Sorrow was once forged by Savathun's hand, designed as a psychic prison, binding the mind of its bearer to her will. Now it serves a new witch. You have become a reaper of darkness, dooming slain nightmares to imprisonment within the Crown. Callus has begun to forge a bond between the Leviathan and the dormant pyramid buried on the moon. I do not yet know why, or how. But with enough imprisoned nightmares, I can use their essence to invoke a ritual to sever those connections Callus is forging. For now, return to the Leviathan and seek out concentrations of these new nightmares. Destroy them and bind them to the Crown. As I warned Zavala, nightmares wear familiar faces and speak with familiar voices. They manifest our darkest fears. You will assist Crow when it comes time to perform the first severance ritual. We both know what form his nightmare will take. It will do everything in its power to stop you. Be wary. Each amplifier grounds our severance in the Leviathan's connection to the darkness.
Loyalist welcoming party ahead. Maybe I can find a way around.
This is what the Traveler made you for. We're killers. Don't shy away from it.
I don't kill unless I have to.
Right. You only murder the deserving. Like Keitel's scion.
That was a mistake. It was a mistake.
Lucky Saladin owned it for us. Just like Mara always used to.
Sounds like we both hit resistance, Guardian.
I doubt they had as much trouble as you. I've seen them work.
At least I'm not one and done.
You take resurrection for granted. Remember how we begged Mara to save us? To make us awoken as we slipped away from existence?
Do you ever stop talking?
So, Guardian, the Crow wants to be me, or he's afraid he already is?
Is there a third option?
Languish in your miserable limbo of a life? The scorn will drag you into mine eventually.
Those Elixni deserve to rest in peace. What you did to them, I would never.
We raised them, gave them a second chance. I thought you were all about second chances.
Where did the scorn come from?
I told you, our prodigal children returning to their father. Can't you hear them calling? Why did you abandon us? Ow! You're awfully bitter.
Damn right I'm bitter. You had everything, and you set it on fire for her!
You rose out of those ashes. A guardian. Noble. Admired. Even by her.
I'm ready to finish this.
Is this why you pushed so hard to remember me, little bird? So you could burn Uldren at the stake and prove your independence?
It's the right thing to do. I have to.
How many failed attempts to do the right thing before you realize our fervor always backfires?
Mara had you wrapped around her finger. Everything I do is because I want to.
Sure. Outcome's the same, isn't it?
You cut out pieces of yourself until there was nothing left of your humanity. You enjoyed it. That's the difference.
Please. You'd swallow all those whiny little morals given the right push. You've come so close already. That's why you run.
I'm not running.
We'll see. Our legacy is calling.
Father.
Just like you were. You can help him, but you just don't. Because it's one more step towards me. It's why you won't help our sister either. After everything Mara's done for us.
I don't want her help!
This isn't a knife fight, Crow. Accept his words. Move through them.
No! No! I'm going to enjoy ripping him out of me.
Try. I'll just burrow back in, over and over until I'm all you have.
Eris, what do I do?
Retreat is not weakness. Breathe. We can try again, in time.
Sorry I let you down. Come to tell me it's not my fault? Hey, Guardian. I know this is on me. You don't have to feed me any comforting platitudes. I've been running from the truth for long enough. You know, when I first came to the city, I told these little lies about who I was or where I came from. Nothing hurtful, just a few stories to keep a comfortable distance from the truth. To fill in the blanks when I got my memories back. I remembered Uldren did the same thing. He started little rumors, recounted adventures to an audience, planted gossip in Mara's ear just to watch those stories spread. We're exactly the same. Down to the instincts. It's in my blood. I thought I could do this. I thought I could prove to Zavala and Keitel and you and everyone else that I was better than him. But lies... they only get us so far.
It appears the situation is far more complex than I first believed. The Leviathan has become an extension of the Lunar Pyramid, channeling feelings of shame and regret into reality. The Pyramid did so as a security system, driving away those who would tamper with it. But what is happening on the Leviathan? This is purposeful. Malicious. As the nightmares on the Leviathan spread, it could threaten Earth and beyond. Calus's bond with the Pyramid endangers all of us. Crow was unprepared to face his own demons when we attempted to sever it. And though I may be able to counsel him through the next confrontation, that will take time. You should return to the Leviathan. Continue harvesting the nightmares and disrupting Calus's plans. We will speak again soon. There is a misconception among the Vanguard that nightmares are like spirits. That they are who they appear to be. This is untrue. They are forged from the darkness and born of your own subconscious fears, desires, and regrets. They have only as much power as you give them. We project our shame on these nightmares and make them real, but they are not inherently evil, no more than the darkness itself is. The nightmares are a weapon, and a weapon can be turned on its creator. I believe I have found a way to do just that. We approached the last ritual of severance the wrong way, attempting to banish the nightmare of Uldren Sov. But I should have known. Denial is not the way. Return to the Leviathan, Guardian. Harvest the nightmare essence we need to perform the ritual again. And perhaps this time acceptance will succeed where rejection has failed.
Your mission remains, but a malicious tinge creeps these halls.
A tinge? And the amplifiers are down, so... failing my severance. I made things worse.
Are you surprised?
The ship was changing before we arrived, Crow.
After which, things did not improve.
Then let's get to fixing it.
These vines wriggle into everything, changing it. Reminds me of adventuring in the Black Garden. Our turning points always seem to come by force.
Maybe yours.
Yes. You've had an overabundance of choice in your life. Certainly not a lost child ricocheting between authority figures. How's your stewardship of him been, Guardian?
This is between you and me.
Steady.
Listen to your handler. Wouldn't want to jeopardize the mission.
Guardian, went smoother this time.
He's picking up on some of my old tricks. Starting to aim like me.
Using your tricks against you sounds good to me.
A lot of attitude for somebody who broke down crying last time we were here. Will your aim stay steady when the Scorn call you father?
If they attack me, if I have to. If?
And that's the door. Keep up, Uldren.
Enough.
When we first touched down, I wasn't sure. But I trust you. Both of you.
I'm ready to finish this. I empathize with your devotion to a cause. But aren't you tired of this little dance? I hadn't found my footing before. This time, I'm ready for you. I told myself a story about who you were. A villain strung together from whispers of the things you'd done. But you're right. I'm scared. I'm scared that our nature might make my friends dangerous to me. Or me to them. We all have parts we wish weren't there. But acknowledging them can make us stronger. I'll always be balancing on the edge of something terrible. But now I have someone to pull me back. Who? You. I can learn from your mistakes. My triumphs, too. Yeah. You point out the pitfalls, I'll fill them in. We'll right your wrongs together. See you around. Guardian. Eris. I did it.
See, you are stronger than your doubts presumed. The Leviathan's connection to the pyramid frays. Our gamble is working, Guardians. We proceed as you wish, Commander. But whatever you hear, you must press forward.
Understood. Thank you, Eris.
Set your amplifiers. Sever Callus's connection.
I see
tread
your new
carefully.
protege, Zavala. I wonder, have you told them what became of the last warrior?
Stay with me a little longer. Life moved on around us, but we can wait here for a moment.
You chose to move when you could have stayed.
Safi,
Don't. You have made your choice.
Go on ahead, I'll find my own way. Guardian.
You say you mourned our deaths, Zavala. Stood where to your traveler?
For a long time.
What good did it do? No ghosts found us. Instead, the traveler gave the light to your enemies.
It's not that simple.
It is that simple. That abandoner deserves your duty more than me, more than our son. It is why you left us both to die alone.
Don't use him like that. I chose you. I tried to give it away.
You killed him, as much as the Fallen did. You wove your gallantry into his bones. My son's killers should meet.
We cannot proceed until he finds forgiveness.
Forgiveness? You shared meals with Fallen behind your walls.
after what they took. This new life dishonors your old one. It dishonors your son.
Hakim.
Your true family wouldn't torment you. This is your grief, Zavala.
My husband is not a liar, and I am speaking his words. He knows what he is.
A hollow man leading others to die. For a silent god.
Enough. Guardian, bring the commander back before any more damage is done.
A hollow man leading others to die. For a silent god. Is that what I've become? Have the years whittled away my nerve? I was convinced that seeing her might make things easier. That her absence cuts deeper than her presence. But they are equally sharp. Sophia. She wants me to speak her name. To confide my feelings in you. What good does it do? Go and see Eris. I'll tell her you're coming. She'll know what to say.
Zavala will not speak to you of his regrets. But I will not let him bear them alone. Here, listen closely. Whispers and confessions as I have heard them. He would tell it differently. But memory clings so loosely to the truth. I will share what I know. Before the Vanguard, before the city, there was a woman. Her name was Sophia, and she was a surgeon. She came to Lord Saladin's gates, offering her skills in exchange for shelter. Zavala was his protege then. He had been taught his purpose, and he followed it without question. She maddened him. He infuriated her. But respect grew to admiration, and admiration to love. Does it surprise you that Zavala loved? She was meticulous and gentle, strong-willed, stubborn, fearless. It began with an infant, orphaned in a fallen raid. Saladin had taught Zavala duty, war, and the light. But Sophia showed him that he was more than an instrument of violence. She had one life, and she would share it with him. They called the boy Hakim. And he called Zavala father. In his joy, Zavala thought to abandon the light, as he had abandoned Saladin's ways. That joy ended as it began, with their son. When Hakim followed his father into battle, Zavala could not protect him, and Sophia could not save him. Hakim died in his mother's arms. Zavala wanted her forgiveness, but she knew there was nothing to forgive. And that giving up the light would be no absolution for him. They returned to the lives they once led. She found love again. She had a daughter. And when Sophia passed, he asked her to forgive him.
Through each generation, he mourned. He asked for their forgiveness. And still, he has not found it.
Zavala's wounds run deeper than he allows us to see. The lengths he has gone to cut himself off from his heart is familiar. It is through accepting what we cannot change where we find the strength to move forward. We grieve, we move, and we grow. Zavala only knows grief. But perhaps there is hope in others, in the council of friends and family. There is no running from his truth any longer. The past is laid bare, and so too the commander's heart. Resume your patrols aboard the Leviathan, Guardian, and I will see what can be done elsewhere. We begin again, with fresh eyes and open hearts. I believe the commander has found the strength he needs. So too must we marshal ourselves for the task ahead, for there is more at stake here. As time progresses, Calus's hold on the lunar pyramid grows in strength. For each connection we have severed, the remaining grows stronger. The nightmares only increase in number, and soon I fear they will overflow from the Leviathan and spread across the system. Zavala is ready to face his past again. Collect the necessary reagents for the next ritual and join him on the Leviathan. We cannot afford to fail again.
Eris, what happens to her if we succeed?
That is unclear. I'm sorry.
My love is still afraid to let me go. The Traveler called you all from your graves to be broken over and over again. An endless sacrifice. But that is not my purpose. Let me rest.
We can remember why we lived our life without hating why we lost it.
I hate my son's murderers. The god they followed. That it has taken you too.
That's not fair.
Live with your decisions. That and duty are all you have to introduce.
I'll set this amplifier, Guardian, and meet you ahead. Guardian.
How many pawns has the Traveler sacrificed to conscript Commander Zavala into its service? When it leaves you too, will you become like the Fallen?
Guardians stand for more than the Traveler. We make our own fate. I wish I could step back into that life. Or that you could step into mine.
What would I do with this broken man you've become?
You teach me to heal again. We'd watch our scars fade together. Safi? There's so much. The years have made apologies lose their meaning. But I am sorry.
You can only apologize for something that is your fault. Hakim wouldn't want to see you mourn. He'd want his father to be proud of his courage. As I am proud of yours.
Hakim should know his father feels nothing but pride. That's why I trusted him to protect you. You've given me a lot to consider. About where I put my faith.
Analyzing the whims of a silent god? You'll mull those thoughts over into dust. There's not always an answer. Let go and rest.
Yesterday I was too tired to rest. Today, Safi, Hakim, I'll find you in my dreams. I'm glad it was you standing with me.
Zavala should be commended. It is not easy to forgive one's own regrets. Another thread frays between Pyramid and Leviathan, Guardian. And yet I feel the next will test us most of all.
When I first saw Sophia return as a nightmare, I was afraid. I didn't want her to reveal what I'd done. I did everything I could to save Hakim. I can accept that now. But back then, guilt, like gravity, warps our perception of what is real. His death carved out a place in me. And everyone I lose under my command only compounds that feeling. Sophia knew that. She understood that losing him only pushed me further toward being a guardian. She knew that I couldn't stand by and watch the world burn. Because in her own way, neither could she. After everything we faced aboard the Leviathan, I'm left to wonder, have I made the right choices? I don't regret all the good the city has done, or that I was a part of it. But what it took to get here, what it's taken to keep it. Our minds weren't meant for this many years. Like so many other things, we have a word for eternity, without the capacity to comprehend what it actually means. When is enough? Enough. Maybe it's time to let go.
It is done. Another of Callus's connections to the Lunar Pyramid is severed. We are poised to strike the final blow. And yet, I find myself unable to enjoy this success. It has come too easily. Only one connection remains to the Lunar Pyramid, and Callus has barely reacted. There is a piece of his agenda that we cannot yet see. I know it. To be this close and still feel as though it is but a mirage is infuriating. I will find the answer to our final severance. For now, continue your exploration of the Leviathan. Any piece of information, no matter how small, could change everything. The Leviathan's corruption spreads like a plague. Even as we succeed, Callus's influence strengthens. I had thought his presence at the moon was fascination. He has always been an explorer of the unknown, a researcher of malign intent but boundless curiosity. But this feels different. If Callus's experiments in communing with the darkness aboard the Glykon was a theory, what we see here and aboard the Leviathan is that theory put into practice. Keitel has observed Crow and Zavala's successes from afar. She wishes to help us sever Callus's connection to the pyramid by confronting the nightmare of Dominus Gaul. He haunts her relentlessly, as Aldrin haunted Crow, as Sophia haunted Zavala. But Keitel was not bound with us. There is no certainty a ritual would succeed. I have advised her to remain aboard her flagship for now. In the meantime, we continue our preparations while I look for another solution. I will contact you soon.
Attention, Vanguard. I have been patient. I have listened to your warnings and kept my landing parties from raiding the Leviathan. But still, Callus eludes your guardians, and the nightmare of Gaul continues to hang over my head. My patience has its limits. Gaul is the last, our only remaining opposition. Then Callus cannot hide. Your ritual only requires I defeat the Dominus's nightmare. So be it. Do not interfere, Guardian. I am Cabal, and this conquest is mine to claim. There must be a proving, an acceptance from the old ways. So, as a gladiator entering an arena, I issue my challenge. Dominus, are you listening? I aim to finish what we began all those years ago. You won't stop me. Gaul, I challenge you. In the depths of my father's tomb, we do battle.
Eris, have you pinpointed Keitel's position?
No. But I have inserted the Guardian near her drop pod's breach point. We will find her. I'll keep you informed of the situation as it develops.
Move quickly. She may be in danger.
Turbines halting. The Severance site is not far, and now the way is open. Go. Cabal pride be damned.
The light spawn ignores your commands. They have forgotten Cabal dominance.
You are mine, Dominus. But if they wish to see you beaten, I won't deny them.
Bring the Guardian then. I will gladly remind them what fear feels like.
Get on with it. In my youth, I watched you cut your way to the top of the fighting pits, like a bloodied idol. I thought you were magnificent.
What did you learn watching me rise?
Tenacity, ruthlessness, guile. The same crude tools the Hive brought to our home.
Tools you cast away when desperation drove you to beg. You grovel to our enemies for protection, like calluses gorged aristocrats when the coup crashed on their doors.
Your way proved inadequate to save our people. How can you not see that?
I see our home burning under your banner. Weakness runs in your blood. I will show you myself. Gaul conquered this system! Gaul exiled Callus! Gaul broke the Traveler's will! You have squandered my victories with your ineptitude. You're not the Keitel I trained. She was feared as a star pilot, dreaded with a cleaver, a warrior. Where is she?
She died, smoldering in the ashes of Torobatl. Your lessons with her.
Then that is where she will stay.
Keitel, without the binding ritual, it is as I feared. We must abandon this.
I don't need a Hive-tainted witch to explain my failure.
Then I won't.
Morn, would your ritual have prevented my failure?
Now you seek the counsel of a Hive-tainted witch.
Do you revel in your foresight? Do you delight in witnessing my shame?
I offered you my support. That offer remains. Know that this failure does not define you, Keitel.
You will address me as Empress.
You are not a crown. You do this for yourself, not for the Cabal.
I am the Cabal.
No, you are a woman with a burden, as I was.
There can be no such distinction. Torobatl lies in ashes. From my ranks rise traitors and spies. My incompetence threatens the future of my people. There is no quarter for failure.
You speak Gaul's words. They erode the truth. What is your nightmare? An expectation you must shed like dead skin. What will remain when you do so?
I do not know.
Then you must look past your shame and say, I am more.
Very well. Prepare your ritual.
It awaits.
There is but one final link that remains between Callus and the Pyramid, and we are ready to strike it. Keitel has been brought into our ritual bond. She is now prepared to confront the Nightmare of Gaul and undo her father's work. However, by my estimates, Callus has already infiltrated the paracausal matrix of the lunar pyramid. The dark below groans and churns with excitement at this revelation. Emanations from the lunar pyramid whisper a singular psychic demand to all who can perceive it. Rejoice. Callus is overconfident, and we must take advantage. Go, return to the Leviathan and prepare.
Your edge alignment was poor.
Guardian!
Keitel, dispatch this light storm and send its head back to the city.
Silence! You are a weak imitation of the Gaul I knew.
I am limited only by your weak imagination.
I will find you at the end. Get on with it.
You were never able to best me, Keitel. That's why I left you to hold my throne.
I was fighting with weapons you gave me. Now, I wield my own.
You are nothing more than a child playing, Empress. You lack my drive and your father's vision.
The old ways are dead, Dominus. I forged a new cabal in my image. It does not require your approval.
I see, Keitel. I see your new cabal pulled from the jaws of extinction. You have surpassed me. I attempted to subdue the light and burn for it. But you wield it on your war council. What conquest is more deserving?
You still don't understand. It wasn't conquest. It was compromise. An act your traditions never would have allowed.
You have finally grown beyond the prescriptions of your idols. Despite my legend, Gaul is flesh. His words are only words. Like yours.
There is a difference. Mine are better. Was that it, then? If dead men and sanctimony are all Callus has to threaten me, he might as well turn the Leviathan around and run. It is strange. What we are to those around us, and what we are not. The Dominus was a hero to my people. Self-made and defiant. He inspired many, but the Leviathan's trickeries allowed me to see Gaul as the Vanguard did. Dangerous, relentless, cruel. Those were qualities I embodied to survive Callus's interpretation of fatherhood. They kindled in me a stifling reliance on self, on action, and nothing else. Most of all, Cabal wished to be seen. Our conquests recognized and ratified by the shockwaves they send through the Empire. The impact we leave. But an endless war in pursuit of glory leaves only ashes. When I am gone, it won't be the impact of my conquests that shape the Empire. Instead, it will be the quiet of peace in the company of allies. Well fought, Guardian.
Eris told me what happened. How are you?
Tired and old.
But do you feel like a legend, Caiatl?
I will break you in half, small man.
I can't imagine it was easy. That confrontation after all this time. Mine wasn't.
You are not mistaken. I know what Ghaul is to your people. A symbol of death and ruthless ambition. But he was so much more than that to me. He was an idol. An inspiration to all Cabal. Even though he was born to a low station, he rose. How he rose. I was blinded by the light of his accomplishments. Unable to see the man inside. Unable to see his self-aggrandizing corruption. I refused to believe he was as much like my father as he was. It repulses me how much I still feel for them both. In spite of everything they became.
It's hard to challenge your idols. Even harder to make the decision that you'll be different. But then you look back on your life, your own mistakes, and you wonder how you'll be judged when all is said and done. I'll never know Ghaul as you did there. But I know you, Caiatl. I see you.
That is all anyone can ask for. To be seen as they are.
It is as I feared. We were too late. In spite of our efforts, the lunar pyramid has surged to life, and the depths of the moon roar with this monumental change. Callus has assumed control. But all may not be lost. Callus's psychic imprint is massive. Like a snail coiled within its shell, not all of him has slithered out of the Leviathan and into the pyramid. If we strike now, as one, at the heart of Callus's presence within the Leviathan, we may yet be able to prevent him from turning the power of the pyramid against us. A ritual of this size will require a massive amount of power, and all of our combined efforts. Crow, Caiatl, and Zavala will need to coordinate with you. Return to the Leviathan. Gather the reagents we need to perform one last ritual, and perhaps, just perhaps, we will be able to prevent disaster.
The others are not with you? Then we do this alone. Father! Do you see me? Know yourself!
I see you, daughter. I see your failures, your doubts, your fears. You could have stood at my side, but instead, you chose this.
Where is Callus?
Dead. He has given himself over to the Witness. My father is gone.
Safi.
Even with all our strength, we barely stopped Callus. This was not a victory, Guardian. It has merely bought us time. Callus has become an emissary of the Witness. He is the harbinger of the second collapse. For all we know, this was Callus's plan from the beginning. Luring Guardians to his side with promises of riches and lavishing them with praise. Only to slaughter all of humanity at the behest of a voice whispering to him in the dark. Callus may be gone, but the Leviathan remains, and it will take months to clear out the remaining nightmares and assure it is no longer a threat. But even those efforts may be for naught. We have reached the point of no return. The Witness is near. It is the beginning of the end.
You never cease to entertain me, little guardians. Time and again, you have moved me to applause. And have I ever withheld your gilded reward? No, for I am magnanimous, generous, forgiving. And so, I grant you yet another gift. One last chance at salvation. The Witness, in all its glory, has set its covetous gaze upon your traveler. You cannot stop it. Light burns for only so long. A feeble flame, easily extinguished. But you need not share that fate. I invite you to instead join me in revelry and embrace the inevitable. Alas, you have always been stubborn. So, if you insist on being devoured, then I will savor your final moments. Until our next reunion, God.